Outsiders, hello, I'm Tony from the Outsider channel, and have I got a steaming pile of deliciousness of a vid for you today. Thought I was going somewhere different with that, didn't you? Bringing it back. All right, today we're getting to a video that I've been planning to do for a few weeks now, my 25,000 subscriber update vid, and I've asked you guys to give me some questions, and that's what you did, and that's what I'm gonna do here today is answer them. I got that all out first try. Thank you all for your support, first of all. Let's keep it going. I don't know how far we're gonna go with it, but hey, I love that we're here. Being present in the moment is something that I strive to do in my life, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm appreciating the moment, appreciating this time in my life where I feel like the work I put in is coming to fruition. I've got some great channel sponsors that are helping me live this lifestyle where I create videos, and I'm very thankful. So, least I can do is answer some questions and get down to the bare bones of it, guys. Let's get to it. First off, YouTube questions coming right up. All right, Andy F wants to know if it was more fun being a professional skateboarder or a sponsored YouTuber. Pros and cons of both. Good question. I would say they're very extremely far different things. Being a professional skateboarder, I was responsible as an athlete. My skills paid the bills. I was put into the situation where I had to do video parts, possibly get hurt constantly. Not that that doesn't happen to me now. I feel like I'm getting more hurt on my mountain bike than skateboarding these days. But it was a lot of pressure because I had to perform. It wasn't just going out and creating content, having some fun laughs with friends. It was kind of serious business. Even though we partied a lot, when it was time to film and take photos for magazines, we had to get down to brass tacks. I traveled around the world. I got to see other countries. It was a romantic time of my life. I think that I lived that lifestyle as a young one, so I don't think I would be able to do that as an older guy right now in my 40s. That lifestyle isn't for me. I did live on the other side of that as a marketing manager for America and Etnies Shoes for a little while, doing the inside of the industry type of thing. So I also enjoyed that for a bit, getting outside of the athlete and put into the, I don't want to say corporate world because the skate business doesn't seem very corporate, but I was on the other end of the spectrum to see the inside perspective of what it's like to work in the industry. And I did like that. I traveled to Europe with the America team, produced a video called Made 2. Who knows in this life, I may go back to doing that at some point, but right now I'm enjoying where I'm at. Being a sponsored YouTuber is very weird. It's because I'm used to being sponsored for my athleticism, but now I'm being sponsored. The channel is the one being sponsored. It's not me, it's the channel, it's you guys, it's the whole incorporation of having a channel and what that means. That doesn't mean I'm sponsored for mountain biking, and I feel like I need to explain that a lot when I meet people, like, who are you sponsored? No, I'm not really sponsored. The content is sponsored, the reach is sponsored, the reputation, I would say, is more of being sponsored than the athleticism that I bring to the table. I'm a decent rider. I'm not gonna throw myself under the bus with that, but I'm definitely not a sponsored mountain bike rider. I'm taking a lot of time with this question because I think it's an important one and one that I get quite often. So yeah, there's two different ends of the spectrum. I'm appreciative for all the sponsors. They're helping me create this life and lifestyle that I'm living in right now, create videos and content for you guys, and I'm enjoying that. But you know, there's a very clear definition that it's not for my athleticism. It's for something that's very different these days, which has changed a lot and probably pissed off a lot of people and pro athletes. But there's enough room in this world where we can all share and get along, right? My MTB video wants to know, what do you like the most about being a YouTuber and what do you like the least? The most is the freedom. I mean, I don't have a 9-to-5, but what I am responsible for, and it's not a con, but it's something that I have to teach myself and pay attention to, is I'm my own boss. I'm responsible for my motivation. If I don't show up for a meeting, if I don't show up to create content, if I don't show up for the day to get my stuff done, then it's not going to happen, and I have my own self to blame, and I'm the one that reaps the repercussions of that, and it makes the channel not grow. So I've had to really pay attention and get my work ethic dialed in. It's easier said than done sometimes, because sometimes you're just not feeling motivated. Sometimes you get in a rut, But in normal life, you have a boss that notices it and kind of gives you a kick in the ass. That kind of sucks too. So it's a kind of a bizarro world. The cons, I would say, the biggest one is money. Just being honest with you, that's why I'm so appreciative to the sponsors and Patreon for you guys that are supporting me, because I'm creating free content at the end of the day. This stuff isn't something that you have to sign up for to watch my videos. So I'm really supportive for you guys, the ones that go and take the extra step to become part of the Patreon community. And that's why I love giving back when I can. We do group rides every month. It's not a pitch, it's just what we do. So that really helps me live this life, pay for expenses, pay for my trips. The gas is not cheap these days, you guys know that. The funds go right back into the channel and help me create videos. The bottom line though is that I'm not taking home any money right now. I'm not living a lifestyle where I can like go out and buy new cars and buy a house. I'm taking this portion of my life as a little drop in the bucket and seeing how long I can sustain this. But you know, without the support from you guys and the sponsors, this isn't gonna happen. So the hard part and the stressful part about this is the financial responsibilities as a grown-ass man and being a YouTuber. So as much as I love doing the channel and things like that, that's always in the back of my head, and it's always a weight that kind of is lingering there. Is like, how much longer can you go? So it's almost like people that live paycheck to paycheck. It kind of feels like that a little bit, but a little less stable, if that makes sense. Thanks for your question. Ernie5 wants to know, how much thought goes into planning your rides and how do you prepare for those long weekend adventures? Good question. When I started the channel, I didn't plan out anything at all. I just went out and filmed trail guides. It was easy, it was fun. And it's not that it's not anymore, it's just I've done so many trail guides that I'm at the point now where I'm going back to give some updates, because that's what I love to do, guys. The channel started based around entertainment information, blending those two things together and showing you guys some trails, bringing the map to life, off of Trail Forks, off of the book, and showing you guys the trails firsthand. And that's kind of my main nucleus of what I like to do in the channel. And that's something that's always a staple and it's never gonna go away. So that is kind of the incorporation of my planning, and it goes into like, what can I do? Where can I plant my seed? This next ride. Sometimes things pop in your head and you just say them and you surprise yourself. Where if I'm on a road trip though, then I usually have the days planned out pretty well. I have an unfamiliar area that I'm traveling to. Usually if I have a bike park and I have some trail rides that I want to do, I'll pick a day. I'll give myself a day off just in case I'm too tired or if I get injured. But if the day comes where I'm okay to ride, I'll just find something else to do. I'll find another ride to do. So the more core planning comes now when I'm on the road, and I've been on the road quite a bit. But when I'm home, like right now, when I'm here for a few weeks, I want to get back to just bring you guys along on some rides. If there's a story to talk about, if there's something to review, if there's some new information to talk about, I'll do that. But right now, I just want to bring you guys along for some rides and get back to the core of what the channel is. Jumping into Instagram questions right now. We've got Adam Mock with one. What's a documentary that you recommend or you love not related to mountain biking? Great question. With my background and how surprised I was at this film, I'm gonna have to say the Dogtown Z-Boys documentary. It meant a lot to me. As a skateboarder growing up since I was 11 or 12, I saw myself a lot in that video. I love how it not only tells the story of skateboarding, but it tells the story of what it's like to be a young kid growing up skateboarding, even in the 70s and 80s, because that was very similar to what I felt like I grew up as. Skateboarding wasn't cool when I grew up. It was kind of an outcast activity. I felt like an outcast. I'm an outsider, hence the name. Coming from that skateboard background, I felt like it meant more to me. If you guys ever skated or if you have a background in skating, you probably understand. If you watch a documentary that you grew up with living yourself, you could see yourself throughout the film and relate to the people and the types of characters that were in there. I also just loved that it told the story, like I said, of the skateboard history, of how surfing turned into skateboarding. They would have crappy waves and they turned it into surfing the streets of Venice, you know, like it's sort of rad documentary. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. There's also a movie about it. The segment PR wants to know, if you had a tropical island you were stranded on and you had to drop 3 items, what would they be? Video games, plural, all the newest video games, keep those coming. Meatball sandwich is plural. I love a meatball sandwich. And my wife, Heather, you can come, or she's usually busy with work, so I'd probably just be there drinking margaritas. So I would have to say margaritas, video games, and meatball sandwiches. That's a great day. A tropical island with a meatball sandwich, margaritas for the day, and video games. You just switch back and forth, you play your game. and then you look at the view, appreciation station right there, and you look back, ooh. That's a good one. Thanks, Mark. Air Blair wants to know, what's my favorite trail of all time? As far as local trails go, there's just one that I found when I first started riding here that is still one of my favorites. Even though it gets kind of boring because I ride it so much, it's gonna be Lizard Trail in Crystal Cove State Park. It's got 2 sides to it, part 1 and part 2. Both are very different. It's got some shade here in Laguna, and it's a good, solid blue intermediate trail that you can go as fast as you want on. Just watch out for hikers. If I had to say my favorite trail outside of the local aspect, oh man, Braille Trail and Flow Trail in Santa Cruz. Flow Trail is just this magical, literal flow trail that's 6 or 7 parts to it. It takes like 20 minutes to get down. It never ends. You have to stop because you're so tired, not from pedaling, but just going through the whoops and woo-haws and the berms. It's a glorious trail. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out on my playlist. I've got the Flow Trail, how to ride it there, and Braille Trail is right next door to it, both in the same location in Santa Cruz, and it's in the Demo Forest. Beautiful scenery here in the redwoods, and if you can go in the winter when the dirt is just, highly recommend. Mike Civicki wants to know, does pineapple belong in pizza? Yes, it does. Yes, it does, with some Canadian bacon or some ham. It's delicious. Steph Batista wants to know, what's your favorite post-ride grub? Obviously, it's a meatball sandwich, but you know, not a lot of places have those. As common of a food as that is, you would be surprised how hard it is to find after a ride. I would say probably pizza. Pizza's great because you can order a pizza and share it with your buds, or if you just want to get one and have a slice or two and save some for later. Pizza's always good as leftovers, you guys, so you can't go wrong with a good slice of pizza. What I've been doing lately has been riding a lot of Laguna, and I've been going to Laguna Beer Company afterward for a pint and a nice personal sized pizza. Margarita pizza is one of the best I've ever had there. Check it out, it's off the 133. Shout out to them. And yeah, it's just a rad spot. It's right in the middle of the trails, so you can kind of see some other riders coming through, meet some buddies, talk shop, and there's an outside patio. You can bring your pupper if you want. Pip enjoys himself there. All right, guys, I'm gonna keep this one short. I appreciate all of your questions. I didn't get to all of them because I don't want to ramble on here for an hour. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. If you want to join Patreon, like I said, and support the channel further, it's boom, links right there. And we'll be back next week with some more riding footage in a location that I don't think I've shown you before. That's a lie. Yeah, I've been there before, and I'm gonna show it to you again. And it's an update, and you're gonna like it, and you're gonna go and ride your bike right after. Okay, bye.